So, as we sit back and wait on the Thomas Drance video to be published here on YouTube, right now the checks are still going. 13 minutes to go on the bottom of the YouTube upload page here. As we patiently wait for this video to go out onto the internet, I wanted to dive into some more positive Vancouver Canucks news. It's hard to be positive when Brock Boeser is a game-time decision against Buffalo today, but we did have ourselves another update in regards to the Quinn Hughes trade talks, courtesy of Donnie and Dolly. You see, we had some more information on the Washington Capitals. Dollywall said this earlier this morning. A lot of people are telling me, keep an eye on Washington when it comes to these Quinn Hughes discussions. The Vancouver Canucks like Cole Hutson and Connor McMichael. Ryan Leonard is an untouchable piece. The Capitals are doing their due diligence on Quinn Hughes. Now, as we had mentioned in a prior video, it is quite intriguing, the idea of a guy like Quinn Hughes heading over to the Washington Capitals in the first place. They already have themselves a two-headed monster on D with Jacob Chychrun and John Carlson. Both of those guys are studs. If you head over to Chychrun in particular, I mean, this guy is really making Ottawa Senators fans regret everything that went down with their organization. Chychrun this season is on pace for 30 goals and 68 points. He has been a total monster. And adding a guy like Quinn Hughes on top of that, oh my goodness, that would totally set up Washington to go on another cup run with Alex Ovechkin in the sunset years of his career. And as we had mentioned, the idea of Quinn Hughes passing it to Ovi for those one-timers does sound like a pretty good idea, if I do say so myself. There you go. Let's publish this video at 3:05 p.m. Francesco Aquilini getting called out by Thomas Drance. But anyways, going back over to the topic at hand here, Quinn Hughes would be such a big addition to Washington, and with John Carlson also in the latter half of his career, it could be setting that team up nicely for what they could do in the future. But here's where we dive into some of the trade return pieces. So, diving into Cole Hutson first and foremost, this is an awesome name. As we had discussed in the previous Hughes-Washington video, Cole Hutson is essentially Quinn Hughes light. He's the younger brother of Montreal's Lane Hutson, and of course, if you know anything about Lane, you'd know that we had mentioned Lane as a potential Quinn Hughes clone as well. Cole kind of plays the same way. 5'11", 172, left-handed defenseman, so as with the Hughes bros, the younger brothers are a little bit taller than the older brothers, which is always going to be funny to me how that sort of biology works. But Cole Hutson this season with the NCAA's Boston University Terriers has 20 points in 17 games. Last year he was at 48 points in 39 games, which is so good. Way over a point per game as a freshman in the collegiate scene. And he was way over a point per game for Team USA at the World Juniors as an 18-year-old. I mean, this guy was in a really good spot last season, and he is just going down that path of improvement, even though his point production isn't necessarily as good as it was last year. If Cole Hutson can continue on the path that his brother, Lane Hutson, went down, then there's no doubt that this guy could become a 60, 65, 70-point NHL defenseman year in and year out if everything goes right. And if you remember quite fondly back in the days of Quinn Hughes' prospect development, this is a guy who was essentially a 60, 70-point NHL defenseman before exploding and becoming a 90-point guy like he did in his Norris winning year. Quinn Hughes hasn't had a point in however many games this is. It's been a while since he has scored. And his point production is actually declining. Same way that Miller's did before Miller got traded. Yeah, no, it's been quite apparent that the Quinn Hughes trade talks have entered the room, and they are affecting things to some capacity. But going back over to the tweet over here by Taj, the Canucks like Cole Hutson, and they also like Connor McMichael, who is a really nice name as well. McMichael can play center. He's 24 years old, 6 feet, 187. Last year, he had 57 points in 82 games played. This year, he is on pace for about 41 points, which would be a decline. But then again, some of the guys near the top of the Washington lineup are really taking big steps this season. Tom Wilson is a man on a mission. Alex Ovechkin is still scoring like crazy. And then you have Alexei Protas, who is right there as a strong winger, too. McMichael is 24, so you can say that, like the Nico Hischier argument, McMichael may be just a little bit too old to fit with a long-term rebuilding-esque vision for Vancouver. But as we had also noted, it seems like Vancouver doesn't want to touch a rebuild, and they want guys 20 to 25. Connor McMichael is 24, and he's actually pretty good, so I wouldn't be too ticked off with him coming over to Vancouver, especially with the idea that he can continue to grow and get better. But as long as Vancouver is getting some extra younger pieces, that would be the main contingent factor here. Yes, okay, they like Cole Hutson, they like Connor McMichael. Why not both? You're getting Quinn Hughes, come on. Make a trade work that gives Vancouver ample value here. Ryan Leonard is an untouchable? Okay. I understand that. Ryan Leonard is 20 years old. He is such a strong player. He is on pace for 51 points this season after getting 49 points in 37 Boston College games last year. Leonard in his own right is a total monster, a power winger, physical forward with some great sniping ability. This guy could be a 40-goal scorer in the National Hockey League one day. He is that good. And you think about how good Washington has been the past few years, and it's like, hey, how in the hell did they end up getting this guy? How did they get an 8th overall pick in 2023? This Capitals team is still pretty strong, and even they're able to outwit and outbid Vancouver in the draft lottery business? How is that possible? Maybe getting high draft picks actually is the move here. But of course, Washington, not interested in trading this guy away. If there is a draft pick on the table, maybe multiple, then okay. You're getting me thinking a little bit more if you're Washington, but at the end of the day, if this seems to be the direction that the Quinn Hughes Washington talks are going down, I actually do like Cole Hutson and Connor McMichael as a package a little bit more than some of the other proposed packages that other teams could be offering. I'd like Matvei Michkov from Philadelphia. I would like a Marco Kasper or an Axel Sandin Pellikka from Detroit. If Cole Hutson's available, then I'd like him. But ultimately, it's going to boil down to where these conversations go the next little while. The Capitals, they're doing their due diligence on Quinn Hughes, courtesy of the Donnie and Dolly quote. Some other replies have some other names that could be discussed as well. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of folks going out there and talking about Ilya Protas, who happens to be also in the Capitals system. I know Sap is a really big fan of Ilya Protas, and he's the brother, of course, of Alexei Protas, who has been such a stud with Washington the past little while. If the Elite Prospects page would load, there you go. Alexei Protas is 24, big guy, 6'6", and he scored himself 20 points in 30 games this season, 66 points and 30 goals last season. Ilya Protas, center left wing, 19 years old, he's doing some pretty similar things with the AHL's Hershey Bears after being a double point per game player in the OHL in his very first year of OHL play. So, Ilya Protas from Belarus, there's so much to like out of him. He was second in OHL scoring last year behind Michael Misa. If this guy is available in some sort of a trade-like capacity, then I would not be disappointed if he ends up coming over. And, take a look at that, right? He was a third-round pick. That's crazy. Third-round pick ends up becoming one of the top OHL players and all of a sudden looks like a bona fide top-6 stud prospect like his brother. Send over Protas, Cole Hutson, and Connor McMichael alongside of a second and a first, and you got yourselves a deal, Washington. Of course, though, who knows if they'd be interested in doing that? I mean, why wouldn't they go out there and trade away so many of their prospects and whatever if it means they're getting Quinn Hughes? But you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the idea of Washington trading for Quinn? Do you think this is reasonable? Do you think these prospects coming back make sense? Of course, if Ryan Leonard is off the table, then we got to deal with it like that. If Ilya Protas is on the table, I'm starting to get a little bit more excited. Cole Hutson makes me feel really good things, and I like Connor McMichael as well. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about these names potentially coming over to Vancouver in a Hughes trade? I hope you enjoyed this Swedish Astros 9, and bye.